2 months are described as terrifying for a Houston woman who we're told is being detained in Dubai.
Fox 26's Domly Keith joining us live near downtown Houston with why she's being held. Domly.
Well, the crime she's charged with may surprise you, and Dubai is increasingly becoming a vacation spot for a number of Houston women. One who's there right now, according to her social media page, is trying to get back to the Bayou City, but according to her mom, her passport has been confiscated because she was charged with screaming in public.
Hey, this is Raulh. Please act right. Remember the basketball player Brittany Griner who tried to leave Russia, I believe, and she got caught with some marijuana paraphernalia in her bag? Keep in mind, she broke the law in that country. Now, she would be considered somewhat famous, but this young lady that's being held in Dubai is not. So will she get any help from the U.S.?
It also could result in prison time. So it's very scary.
The trip turned terrifying for Tiara Young Allen when her mom says she was a passenger in a friend's rental car and they got into an accident there in Dubai.
Keep in mind, she was the passenger, not the driver of the car.
Tina Baxter says when her daughter went to the company to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items left in the rental, Baxter says it did not go well.
She found out that she could only receive those items if she paid an undisclosed amount of money. She dealt with a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her.
Baxter says her 29-year-old daughter ultimately yelled back at the rental car agent, she says, resulting in her being charged for screaming there in Dubai.
Is there a chance that this guy that worked at the company was just trying to extort her for money? Men go overseas and get extorted for money too. But you don't hear stories about the guy getting locked up. You know why? Because we calculate it and say, it's probably better if I just pay this money than to get into an argument with the person and end up in jail. Clearly, she didn't get that memo.
Are you driving? Are you driving here?
I would say don't let the foreigners drive here because they're like a walking ATM machine. Every move they make mistake. Money.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Because people will be looking at them as a target.
Yeah.
A motorbike hit. The motorbike didn't fall. It just scratched on the side. But the motorbike driver is still standing there with his bike on. And then the car got scratched on the front side.
Yeah.
And he's the one who ended up paying.
Really? Why? You don't want to argue.
Yeah.
You just don't want to, like, you know. Yeah.
See, she said it was the motorcycle driver's fault. But men know not to argue, especially when you're in another country. Just give them a little funky $10, $15 and keep it pushing. Stick around because I'm going to share a quick few extortion stories with you that happen to men when they're overseas.
And so she is in jail for one reason and one reason alone. She raised her voice. In that country, a female is not even allowed to raise her voice. If she raises her voice, it's punishable by jail time.
Do you think there's a chance that the man knows how the women here in this country act? And because she wouldn't cough up the money, he was provoking her because he knew she'd go there and he could report her for screaming?
Well, why don't you explain to me why what I'm doing is wrong?
It's been very emotional. There are some days I stay up all night crying.
They have a strict law system that is really based on theocracy.
This website warns, quote, laws and customs are very different, so be aware of your actions to ensure they don't offend while in United Arab Emirates. Now, after Baxter says her daughter was charged with screaming in Dubai, her passport has been taken, and the American social media influencer who works as a truck driver can't leave the UAE, according to her mom.
I get the distinct feeling that they're going to make an example out of this young lady. Do you think that it's unfair for them to give her jail time for screaming at the guy when he was screaming at her? Well, stick around because in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how it's unfair for us men who go out of the country if we break simple laws or laws that we think are simple.
And her mom says she's been placed under a travel ban pending the outcome of the investigation.
It's very frightening. The longer she's been there, the more reality has started to kick in.
In our opinion, she did not commit a crime. Don't punish women for doing the same thing a man can do in Dubai. It's not fair and it's not right.
Well, unfortunately, sir, your opinion doesn't matter when it comes down to someone breaking the law in another country.
Now, the 29-year-old does now have an attorney there in Dubai, and her mom says she's told that she could face jail time because there is surveillance video of her screaming. Now, we have reached out to the U.S. and the UAE embassies. Will government officials step in and give her assistance? I'm still awaiting responses. Reporting live near downtown Houston, I'm Damalie Keith, Fox 26 News.
This is a perfect example of be aware of your surroundings. Ladies, you cannot go to another country and act over there the way you act over here. Neither can us men. Here's an example of what may be considered unfair to a man being jailed, but is still law in that country. If one of us men sleeps with a married woman, it's considered adultery in the Philippines, and adultery is against the law. If the police show up and ask us, did we ask her if she was married, and we say yes, she told us she wasn't married, but she is married, you still committed adultery. And seeing that adultery is against the law in the Philippines, shouldn't you already have steps prepared to protect yourself when dealing with the women in that country? Of course. First, you should ask her if she's legally married to anyone on a video or Facebook Messenger so you have a copy that she told you no. Second, you need to ask her to accompany you to go to the courthouse to get a copy of her Cinemar. That's a legal document that states her marital status. This way, if she turns out to be married, you can whip out that document and say, here's proof from the courthouse that states that she's not married. If she used someone else's identification when you all went there, you're still off the hook because you took the necessary steps to make sure you were not committing adultery. In the case of this young lady, the Sassy trucker, so she calls herself on YouTube, it sounds like the guy was trying to extort her, and because she wouldn't cough up the money, he provoked her to start yelling at him to get her to break the law. Well, extortion has happened to some of us men overseas. You can ask a woman in the Philippines if she's married, and she can tell you no. You believe her, have sex with her, and out of nowhere, her husband pops up extorting you for money. And if you don't pay, he threatens to report you to the authorities. Well, you got a choice to make. Tell him that you're not going to pay him at the risk of going to jail, or pay them the money. And I said them, because a lot of the times, the wife is in on it. Pay them both and get the hell out of the Philippines as quickly as possible. Now, was that fair? No, really it wasn't. But the law is the law, and if you break it, you got to deal with it. So if any of you all think that she's being unfairly treated, I ask you this. What if the same man from Dubai was here in the United States and got into an argument with her, and it escalates to where he put his hands on her? You know what I mean, put his hands on her. Would you want him to be prosecuted to the greatest extent of the law? Of course you would, because he broke the law. Do you think it would be fair for them to let him off with no consequences? Of course not. Bottom line is this. You cannot go to these other countries acting the way you do in this country, especially raising your voice to people in that country. And it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. What do you think would happen with one of us men if we went overseas and raised our voice to one of the men over there in those countries? Chances are the police will show up, and guess whose side they're going to take, no matter who started the ruckus? The person from that country. Well, I wish this young lady well, because you don't want to go to jail in the United States. So you sure as hell don't want to go to jail in another country. So what do you guys think? You think they should persecute her to the fullest extent of the law? Well, we're going to see what happens because I'm going to try to follow this story. But for all the other young ladies out there who are planning to go to other countries, no matter what happens, watch your tone, watch your tone. Hey, somebody had to tell you, and I love you, so it might as well be me. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. I post a new video every week. And in the meantime, will you please act right? My name is Raulh. See you in another video.
And what I also tell black women, if you're going to go get you an African man from the continent, you're going to have to understand that the way in which you talk to black men in America will not be tolerated over there.
These are women that came here and married a Tanzanian man or in a relationship with him, and they're getting beat. They didn't think African men were... They didn't know. They thought that maybe I could come here and control that man, but that's not how it works here. So they get smacked upside their head, and they don't deserve to be hit. They don't. But at the same time, they should have known. Because they didn't know, they're disappointed. And a lot of them leave.
Really? Wow! That's wrong, okay? It's wrong. This is why I'm not going to value you anymore. Because you're using me for attention. Let's go. Let's go. You do use you for attention here. And that's why he keeps trying to come up on my show. He's using us for attention. Hit me now. I don't want
a black Suburban truck or a Tahoe. And if you cannot send that to me, well then I will walk home if I have to, or scooter. Okay, so how the f do you want me to get home? Are you gonna come pick me up from the Scat Pack? I did not think so. So I will keep calling a chauffeur until I get a black trunk.
The 4-bag limit. Let me say this to the universe. And you go to a customer's garbage cans and they got 5 bags, then you charge them for 1 extra. But you got enough common sense to pick the sucker up. This guy ain't got no common sense.
She's following me around to the trash can.
No, I haven't. I've been
Recording me. I'll back in.
And of course I
minding my own business.
Weirdo!
Hey. What?
You're a weirdo.
Okay, now I have to call the police.
You
can go inside.
No, I'm sitting in my front suit, buddy.
Fucking kill him.
No, it's okay. What? You're gonna what?
Fucking kill him.
Hey.
Hey!
What is going on? What is she doing?
She doesn't like you. She feels very harassed by you.
What is she doing?
I feel very harassed by you.
Hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You got a freaking weapon?
What are you doing?
It's a fucking... She broke the thing.
You have a weapon?
No, bitch.
Stop. Come here.
Close the door, badass.
Quit. Quit.
I don't think you did it purposely. You probably didn't see me.
I didn't see your round ass in this
Ma'am.
I didn't see you. I got glass.
Ma'am, it's cameras.
Sir, I got glass.
Ma'am, it's cameras, and you almost
Bitch,
hit the...
I got glass. I got glass.
hit the guy that was right there.
I got glass in this big ass truck.
Ma'am.
I didn't see you.
If you don't get
Shut
control...
the f up. You ain't got nothing to say, bro.
If you don't get control of your anger,
You ain't got nothing
you're
to
gonna
say,
end
bro.
up in a bad way. That's all I have to say.
I'm gonna be cool.
I'm not your enemy. No, listen, just hear me out, please. Hear me out. You're not my enemy. I'm not your enemy. Okay. Something else has you angry, and you probably have every right to be angry. I don't believe that when you backed up your car, you tried to hit me purposely. You never made contact with me. You never made contact with my car. Never. So that's why there's no need for an exchange. My response was to alert you. Just listen. Hold on. Just listen. Listen. Ma'am, listen to me. No, I don't. Well, see, everything's recorded, so I'm not worried about that. No, ma'am. Listen.
I thought I was just driving.
Listen, ma'am, listen. It's okay. Ma'am, no, listen. Ma'am, listen.
I would have hit your car.
No one, ma'am, no one was hit.
You got scratches on your car?
No, and I'm not hit either. Listen to me, please. I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. I'm not saying you hit me. The fact that I raised my voice, just listen. Listen, ma'am. No, but you have no reason to be scared for me. Listen to me. I promise. No. Ma'am, listen. Listen. Listen, ma'am. Listen. Listen. Stop it. Listen. Listen. I teach so many people. Listen. You are mad. And that's okay. Listen.
What if I need
No.
help? What if I need help?
And what if I am the one to help you? So listen to me.
Okay.
So if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these 2 videos right here. I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. And if you like, you can visit my channel. I have plenty of videos there. Go ahead. Don't be scared.